what is up, fight fans? Michael Hernandez here of MLH Media, and we are here today with one of the creme de la creme, one of California's. He's in Nevada, been killing it over here in California, though. Sinjen Smith, man, it is an honor to have you on the show. How are you doing today, my brother?
What's up, man? Honor's all mine. Thank you. Feeling good outside right now. Enjoying this beautiful weather.
Yes. What's it looking like in Nevada right now? Can you give me a little? Because right here, I'm in California. It's been in the 70s. What's it looking like for you over there?
Nice. I'd say it's about low 60s right now. A little breezy, partly cloudy, but sunny. It's my kind of weather, man. Feeling good.
Yeah, most definitely. It's especially going to be real good before you hit that summer heat here in a couple of months, before it starts hitting those triple digits and it starts really getting hot over there in the Nevada area. But don't worry, I'll be in California. It's going to be not just as hot. Let me paraphrase. It's going to be pretty hot over here as well. But speaking a little bit about kind of, taking a little bit of time away and, just being able to breathe a little bit. Before your last fight, you were kind of coming off a layoff. And then now, before this championship fight, you got a little bit of a couple of months break to kind of reset and heal a couple of wounds. How did it feel to kind of not only get that fight and come back and get it and win in a big way, but also kind of get some time to sit back and absorb everything as well?
Felt good, man. Not having competed in over 6 years, I was just battling, multiple instincts and move forward with that. And I still have and still have a strong desire to test my skills as a mixed martial artist, and having the chance to do so on a great organization's stage such as A1 Combat for my first fight back was amazing, and it was just a perfect matchup. My opponent was incredibly tough and just a cool dude, and it was a great time in there. It was something that it was an experience that had built up inside of me. It was, how can I phrase this? It was an experience I got to release that had 6 years of just energy and training built up inside of me and into that fight, and I'm happy with how it went. I've made some improvements for sure, but how Uriah was commenting on that fight was pretty spot on. I just wanted to get in there and unleash, wasn't afraid of anything, and wanted to just get hit and hit back. And I think I'll be a little more tactical this coming fight.
Yeah, also same comments reigned from Tom Anderson as well. I got to speak to him not too long ago, and he said that was his favorite fight so far this year. And we're going now into May, so we're almost halfway into the year. Your fight was in January, so I believe that your fight was a pretty exciting one over there at the Sacramento State, the student union that they had over there. It was pretty cool that you were able to put on such a show for their first ever time going over there to the Sacramento State area, especially with the Combat University and everything coming in. It was like a culmination of things raining into that fight lead up. But what was really going through your head round by round with that one? Because I feel that first round really sharp from you, and I was sitting there and I just could not believe the type of technicality you were releasing on some of these strikes, and it just seemed like you were pinpoint on some of them. It's insane. And then the second round, he came back. You fell, you got dropped in the second, and you also unleashed a little bit as well. So could you just take us through that as a fighter, coming back? It seemed like it was definitely it seemed like a war in there, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of thinking going on in my mind. Just doing and responding accordingly. And I've got going. Holy shit! I started training 15 years ago this month. So I've got a lot of experience in the form of training in MMA in my background, and as I've competed, I think I've been able to utilize my skills in a way that doesn't require a whole lot of thinking from me. And that's kind of how it felt like I was in there, is just responding accordingly to how I wanted the fight to go. I was implementing, implementing myself, my pressure, my technique, and then responding according to how my opponent was. And overall, it turned out well. Like I said, there's always stuff to work on. I'm forever a student, and I enjoyed it. I think overall, I don't feel like I was hurt in any moment in that fight. The one time he dropped me, it was just good timing, and caught me stepping in on a naked kick, and that's what should be done. So I was able to get right back up and clock him in return, and like I said, a really cool experience, and I'm happy to have gotten the finish in the way that I did, as I'm the majority of fights I've been known to finish, and that's something I expect out of myself as well.
Yeah, going into that third round, was that something you had established in your mind? Like, I'm going for the kill. This is how I've been doing it. This is how I'm gonna end this one as well.
Like I said, I don't think any thought was in it. I was just go time. It's still just there. Like, all right, we're still in it. The dude's he's still here. He's still dangerous, as am I. But I knew he was fading. I have a pretty good gas tank. I know how to use my energy well, and I could tell that I was hurting him in the at the end of the second round, and then I just see it in his corner. I'm standing up, feeling good, feeling like I'm in a fight, but still ready to go. And he's sitting down, taking deep breaths. So I just could feel it. And just having that experience, I've sparred a million times, and I know what it's like when people are tired, and that's when I just pick up the pace and go for the kill when the time is right.
Yeah, speaking about picking up the pace, and picking up the pace in the fighting world, but you've also been picking up the pace in your initiative outside of the cage. I feel like the kind of GreenVibe initiative that you've been pushing, you've been really wanting to. I seen your post. You said that you want Dana White to see this. You want all the people at the UFC, that eventually that's the goal, is to get fighters kind of contributing to this as well. But I seen recently at a trip where you guys released over 10,000 pounds of trash, if I'm not mistaken, over there in Nevada.
100%, man. Been doing this, working on this project now for over 6 years, and it'll be 4 years in July as a 501c3 nonprofit. And yeah, we had the toughest challenge to date for our organization in regards to pollution removal. And that was just at the end of April, 3 8-hour days of tactically approaching this issue, where unfortunately there's just people that get pushed out of the cities and find their way downstream, which is east upon the Truckee River, which flows through the heart of Reno and Sparks, Nevada. And there's just people that in an unfortunate way of life, and they're out there living the best that they can on the streets, and a lot of these people gravitate toward the river, and it just sucks because they trash it. We have empathy for them, but we can't just sit back and allow this to be harming the watershed, and ultimately the ecosystem, and as it circles back to human life. And so we try to work with these people. We do outreach, and yeah, man, this project was a hell of a project. We had to travel a quarter mile each direction just to get to the trash, and haul equipment in, haul trash out, just going back and forth along a very narrow trail. Um, and it was going ultimately to this ancient petroglyph site that's over 2,000 years old, referred to as the Court of Antiquities, where the story is that ancient tribal council would happen at this site, and there's just amazing petroglyphs there. And it's just been overrun with homeless houseless communities. And so we're trying to just do our best to address the pollution problem, which is just one facet of what our organization does. but it's one of it's our biggest, you know, action branch of our organization. And it was amazing, man. Yeah, only 30, like less than 30 people. We actually were able to hire some of the people out there. We give out gift cards that some of the people living out there, you know, they're down to help. You know, we just got to connect with them, treat them as people, and they want the same thing, man. They don't want to be living in this filth. And they were extremely helpful. But yeah, dude, like 5,600 pounds on day one, 3,400 pounds on day two, and over 1,000 pounds on day three, just trekking in and out, trash, man. It was cool. It was a really cool experience, but it was tough. It was a workout, especially
No,
going.
that sounds. I'm like trying to imagine. You know, I can't even. Like, I'm trying to. I think like visually imagine it, and it just for me is so troubling. And I just really want to give you. I wanted to give that spotlight to that because that's something that needs to be touched up on more. And I feel like the issues in society. Obviously, we can go into a whole deeper discussion about that, but it does pose that, you know, these homeless people often get put in these situations like how you said, and you know, they don't want to trash the area that they're in. They want it to be clean oftentimes, you know, just as much as the person that's living in the nice bungalow down the street, you know. So I feel like that's often a misconception, and I'm glad that you're a part of the initiative that's shining light on that and trying to kind of make it better. And I know you spoke on some things that you really like within the program, but could you kind of touch up on some things that you really that you would just spotlight? You know, if you had to give one person a reason where, you know, just an alien came down, you're like, one reason why you love this initiative in this program, what would you say is the number one reason that keeps you going day in, day out for it?
Dude, I think it's seeing the amount of people who are about it. Like we've been able to generate. We have gathered over 1,000 people now to over the years, over 1,000 volunteers to help us with this initiative, and like and we're all a part of it. We live in this system that is heavily based around materialism, and a lot of good and a lot of not so good about it. But we might as well try to do something with the symptom, do something about the symptom to this problem. This is just one, I think, objective issue that is harming our the natural environment and ultimately circling back to harming humanity. And it's just something that I'm very passionate about. And if I can bring people in on this, I think people just need opportunity. If And that's what we found, and that's what's so cool to me, is to see how many people are about joining on this type of project, because there's a lot of emotional and subjective views on being an environmentalist or whatever's going on out there with climate change and other issues. Um, we don't really focus on that. It seems like that pollution is something that is just pretty obvious. You don't need to be a scientist to see that, this is a problem. It's happening all around the world, and we're just highlighting one little area in the world, which is an awesome town in northern Nevada, on like how much trash there is and how much it's affecting our natural ecosystem. So highlighting one thing would be like just showing that there is support for this issue. More people want to get involved in it, and we at GreenVibe World want to provide those opportunities for people to get involved, as well as the trying to highlight it and get enough energy behind it to where the UFC in particular would like to be involved in that as well. Because I see Dana White, man, he's about it. They're already connecting with a great organization called 4Ocean, that's addressing pollution in the ocean. I think that GreenVibe World is the other half to that, and we can help address the land and prevent a lot of the pollution from entering the ocean.
I
So
100% agree with that. I'm with it. I'm Team Green, but I honestly, I really have enjoyed I really enjoy always seeing your posts. Like whenever I do see them and I see the amount of work that you guys are able to do with the people that you had. I actually had put a note here that you only had 30 people, and I'm so glad that you pointed that out, because I know that people are not going to really look into how much trash was given. Like, but 10,000 pounds of trash, people with only 30 people to help, is absolutely insane numbers. So big kudos to you guys. But that's not the only thing that you're helping out with. I think a lot of people may kind of, like how you said, look at you and be like, oh, he's the guy that helps out with GreenVibe. But you also are assisting with the Regenerative Boxing program. That was something that you also helped to found as well, correct?
yeah, actually, my brother and I created this program called Regenerative Boxing back in 2020 when the shutdown happened. My brother is a national champion boxer for UNR and started a Parkinson's boxing program at a local hospital here called St. Mary's. And when the shutdown happened, we're like, well, how can we team up and combine our minds and create something that can still reach people potentially online. So we created this 12-week program called Regenerative Boxing to help people battling these neurodegenerative diseases such as Parkinson's. We've helped people who have MS and those who are just battling the sedentary lifestyles as well as the negative effects of aging. So we're really trying to address the older demographic, or people who are battling the Parkinson's disease, which happens at many different age ranges. We've helped people that were in their low 30s who have Parkinson's disease, as well as people all the way, in their 70s. So that's definitely a cool thing. We would like to spread that a little more. I wouldn't say that we are experts in the field of neurological diseases, but we do understand how important exercise is, no matter what stage in life you may be. And we just created a program that is unique and potentially, that is unique, beneficial, and not a lot of people practice, so that it can stimulate cognition in a very efficient way. So yeah.
Yeah, I was looking into it a little bit, kind of just digging through your Instagram, kind of trying to find out more about Sinjen Smith, watching other interviews. And I know a couple of people had asked about it before, but I just wanted to highlight those things, because not only do I like to talk about the fighter and but I also like to talk about the things that they're doing outside of the cage that matter just as much to them. And I feel like those two things really have had a bearing on. Has there been anything else though that Sinjen Smith has been adding to the play? I know you're a busy man, but has there been any other passions or any other things that you've been getting into as of late?
For sure, man. I mean, GreenVibe's the number one passion. Ultimately, my goal is to be full time with our nonprofit when I'm done fighting, and utilize the MMA platform to push this project potentially worldwide one day. And we're expanding our services. We have taken on a community garden. Um, that is a 5th acre here in town. Our goal is to grow and distribute 80% of the food that we grow, and to just communities in need, people in need. There's a network of there's an organization that we have a great partnership with called the Karma Box Project here in town, and we're going to be starting with them. They help with the houseless, homeless population here in town, and they also have built these boxes all around our town that are like little distribution resource boxes
Oh
that,
wow, that's
yeah, it's pretty cool.
yeah.
Using a lot of that, we're going to be dehydrating a lot of the fruit that we grow and distributing that food amongst these boxes. These boxes are for anybody in need. It doesn't matter. Some people can be going through tough times. You don't have to be homeless or houseless, and even if you just need, there are these boxes just on street corners and outside of people's homes and outside of businesses, and that for people to just put supplies in there, so for people who might need something. And we're going to be using that as a network uh, for distribution, as well as working with some of the kitchens in town as well, providing some highly nutrient dense, locally grown, no pesticide, no till grown food. And so that's something that I'm really stoked on. I can't wait until we are going to be until the food is produced and we're going to be distributing. That's going to be so much fun. And then we're just also we're pretty good educational organization as well. Try to just give everyday information on how we can make beneficial impacts toward the environment and for humanity, just in our everyday lives on an individual and collective basis. So like I said, GreenVibe's the number one project, man. And I'm a personal trainer. That's my main gig. So I personally train clients here in town, and I'm going to be moving out of that one day and into GreenVibe as well.
Well, you definitely got your hands full. You are a fighter in all aspects, fighting for the good of life, and then also fighting in that cage, which you are going to be doing on May 17th for A1 Combat 20,
right.
A kind of landmark event for the promotion that you've had a couple of fights for there now, taking on Murali Husseinov, a grappler. He's shown some KO power over there.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on the matchup? What were your thoughts of Tom Anderson hit up the Reno Academy of Combat and said, "Hey, let's get you on this card, welterweight title on the line"?
Hell yeah, man! They offered me multiple opponents. I said yes to every single opponent they offered me, and then finally Murali answered the call, and I think he's a tough dude. He's up and coming, it seems like, and it's going to be a good fight. And I'm a very well-rounded MMA fighter. I've been doing this for a long time, and I am prepared for anything. And we at the Reno Academy of Combat are prepared for any type of fight. And you bet I'm going to be bringing it, and I will win. And I'll have another opportunity to shout about what we're doing with GreenVibe on that stage. And looking forward to it.
Possibly to add another A1 Combat championship over there to the Reno Academy of Combat wall. I'm pretty sure you guys got a little couple of plaques over there as well. But just to kind of shout you guys out, I think you guys got a couple of other guys on this card as well. Adrian Chambers as well as Michael Wood on the card. What's it like kind of being on a card with some teammates again, man? I know Payton Talbott, he's over there in the UFC, so now you're in the corner for him. But now you're also on a card with a couple of guys.
It's really cool, man. Really excited about Mikey's fight. And unfortunately, Adrian isn't on the card anymore. He got a staph infection that he cannot. Yeah, so he had to pull out. He got a staph infection on his arm, not from our gym, but somehow. So unfortunately, he had to pull out. But we also have our Georgian brother, Waho Chimbritsi. Look out for him. I think he's the first fight on the card. He's a beast, and I'm super excited for he and all of us that are fighting. So it's gonna be cool.
I'm pretty sure you've been getting the Payton Talbott questions a lot, but this has kind of been something that you have been saying for quite some time now. You've been preaching that, you guys have been working over there at the Reno Academy of Combat, and you've been kind of calling your shot. How is it now to see Payton kind of gain that recognition and to be showing love to that Reno area? Because he definitely represents it very proudly in all of his interviews. He definitely shouts you guys out a whole lot and brings a lot of attention to the city of Reno.
100%, man. He's in MMA with our gym, as am I, and it's really cool because our coach Rick Collup has dedicated so much of his life. He's had this business for over 30 years, and he in my opinion is a pioneer of MMA training. We've always combined the arts. We've combined jiu-jitsu, wrestling, Muay Thai, kickboxing, and into judo, even into one art. And that's how we were always taught to train. I mean, we never practice. I mean, rarely, right? 90+% of the time, it's always ground and pound. It's never jiu-jitsu, just jiu-jitsu. And we apply that philosophy in all of our training. And I think it's what makes us a very well-rounded. Payton's shown those skills. I've shown those skills. We've had so many different fighters in our day who were successful, and they've gone pro, or they've had great amateur careers and decided to move on with their lives. But we've trained so many people, and Rick has never given up on us. He's worked his ass off for the facility that we have to train in. Rick and Heather, his wife, as well as all the loyal people that have been with us, for as long as I've been around. It's been 15 years now. I stepped in there when I was 16, and going on 32. So it's just it's really cool, and I like to be a part of showing the skills that we were able to generate through Rick's training and his ability as a coach to allow us to evolve as mixed martial artists. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, definitely pretty cool for you to see your teammate in the UFC and to see him rising up those rankings. Hopefully pretty soon you will be also getting that call. Is there kind of anything that you wanted to end off? If this is a call to Dana White, Mick Maynard, Sean Shelby, what is the thing that you got to say to him that is your that's your kind of cover letter into the UFC, as they like to call it?
And again, I'm fighting for nature, man. And my whole goal with coming back for fighting is to get support for our nonprofit, fight until I feel we have that support, and then be good. I think I'm somebody who can bring a different flavor, a different style, a different perspective that is ultimately for the benefit of mankind and the earth, to the UFC. And I don't think they have anybody like me. So if you put all those pieces together, I think I can create a pretty interesting puzzle that, when put together, would look pretty cool in the hands of the UFC. So I'm gonna have to first prove it with this next fight in the cage, because all that sounds pretty cool, but I got to be able to perform.
5-0, possibly looking to be 6-0. Anybody that you wanted to thank? I know you obviously have a ton of sponsors and everybody that you were just talking about, but anybody in particular that you were looking to thank before May 17th goes and comes?
Just thank you, A1 Combat, for having me, giving me this title opportunity just after one fight. And thank you, Michael, for having me and for having this platform for me to share what I've been working on just so passionately. And thank you to my team for never giving up on me. I'm ready to do this and get us to where we need to be, get myself to where I need to be as well.
War ready is Sinjen Smith as he looks to take on Mirali Husseinov at A1 Combat 20 on May 17th at the Hard Rock in Sacramento, California. It's going to be displayed on UFC Fight Pass. So fight fans, make sure you guys are tuning in. Gals, guys, whatever. It is going to be an absolute showdown. I promise you that. Sinjen Smith always looks to put on a show. And I think that this one's going to be one for the history books. And who knows, you may be getting that call in a couple of weeks' time with a big victory here. So with everything, good graces to you, my man. Thank you for coming on the show today. Michael Hernandez of MLH Media. And we are going to be signing out over here in the city of San Luis Obispo with my guy over there in Reno, Nevada, 5-0, Sinjen Smith. Thank you for your time, my man.
Thanks, man.